When Pope Francis says he will do whatever is necessary to end the war in Ukraine, that is exactly what he means.
La Santa Sede è disposta a fare del tutto, a mettersi in servizio per questa pace.
Until now, the Pope's efforts have taken the form of diplomatic exchanges, humanitarian aid, prayer and fasting. But there's more to come. On Friday, March the 25th, in the Vatican, Pope Francis will consecrate both Russia and Ukraine to the Sacred Heart of Mary. On the same day, Konrad Krajewski, the cardinal sent by the Pope as his special envoy to Ukraine recently, will preside over the same solemn consecration at the shrine of Our Lady of Fatima in Portugal. Fatima, Rome, Russia, Ukraine, all connected by a common thread: Mary, the Mother of God. It's a thread that goes all the way back to 1917, the year of the Russian Revolution and the birth of the world's first atheist communist state. In August of that year, in the Portuguese village of Fatima, Mary appeared to 3 shepherd children. During the third of those apparitions, she warned that without prayer and the consecration of Russia to her Immaculate Heart, that nation would spread her errors throughout the entire world, fomenting wars and persecution of the Church. It was Pope St. John Paul II who fulfilled Mary's request on March the 25th, 1984, consecrating the world, including Russia, to her Immaculate Heart. It was also John Paul II who in the year 2000 revealed the so-called Third Secret of Fatima, hoping to put an end to decades of theories and speculation. In reality, Sister Lucia dos Santos, the eldest of the 3 visionaries, had written down a detailed account of the revelations in her own hand back in 1944. Today, that document is preserved in the Vatican's secret archives. This is what she wrote. We saw a bishop dressed in white. We had the impression it was the Holy Father, going up a steep mountain at the top of which there was a cross. He passed through a big city half in ruins, and half trembling with halting step, afflicted with pain and sorrow, he prayed for the souls of the corpses he met on his way. Having reached the top of the mountain, on his knees at the foot of the cross, he was killed by a group of soldiers. Some believe this revelation is still to be fulfilled. Others interpreted it as predicting the assassination attempt of 1981 when Pope John Paul II was shot in St. Peter's Square. The date is May the 13th, the feast of Our Lady of Fatima. John Paul never doubted for a moment that it was Mary who saved his life. The postulator of his cause for canonization is equally convinced.
Effettivamente ha considerato quell'evento.
He always considered it a miracle. He himself said one hand fired, but another hand, Our Lady's, deflected the path of the bullet, keeping all the vital organs of his body safe. The doctors who operated on him were surprised because the path of the bullet grazed vital organs without causing any damage. Scientifically, there is no explanation. It must have been the Mother of God who protected him at that moment.
Catholics seek the protection of the Mother of God every time they recite a Hail Mary or pray the Rosary. And the Church has been asking Our Lady to intercede on behalf of Russia for over a century. Pope Pius XII did so in 1942, in the middle of World War II. Pope St. Paul VI did the same during the Second Vatican Council. Pope St. John Paul II renewed the consecration of the world and the Russian people to Mary's Immaculate Heart in 1984. And Pope Benedict XVI repeated the gesture in 2010. Strangely enough, in certain church circles, there's still some debate regarding the so-called validity of these gestures. Most of the discussion questions the formula used by the respective popes, despite the fact that Sister Lucia herself dispelled all doubts when she wrote categorically, on the 25th of March 1984, it was done, just as Our Lady requested. If that is the case, why is Pope Francis repeating the gesture? Firstly, because the Catholic bishops of Ukraine and many people inside and outside the country have specifically asked him to do so. Secondly, because when she appeared to the children in Fatima, Our Lady promised that the consecration of Russia would lead to world peace. Thirdly, because when the power of diplomacy has run its course, then the power of prayer is often all that's left.
Signore Gesù, nato sotto le bombe di Kiev, abbi pietà di noi. Signore Gesù, morto in braccio alla mamma in un bunker di Kharkiv, abbi pietà di noi.
So while the bombs keep falling and the innocent keep dying, Pope Francis invites us to join him on March 25th and to entrust our greatest fears and sufferings to the heart of a mother.